Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi, le 10 février. These first few things are items that hopefully you've already completed, but if not, le mot de passe. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est? La question du jour, où est-ce que tu aimes manger la pizza? Et, actually, let me double check on that one. Apologies. La question du jour was, quelle pizza préfères-tu? Quelle pizza préfères-tu? Et these two, as well as some TPR, you had to answer using the flip grid. So hopefully you did that yesterday, but if not, just do it now. Go back to Wednesday here. Slide numéro 11, mercredi, and you can see the link for Flipgrid. Okay, aujourd'hui, dans l'histoire, il y a une discussion. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi, le 10 février. Let's try, see if you can figure out how to say this date. 1763. En 1763, le traité de Paris a terminé la guerre de la conquête. This is kind of a tricky one. La guerre de la conquête was we call it the French and Indian War in English. And it was the war that determined that Canada would eventually become mostly English-speaking. Avant 1763, le Canada was français. Après la guerre, after this war, le Canada est anglais, English. So it went under English rule. La France a renoncé au Québec. Renoncé, they gave it up. Renoncé au Québec. Le Canada becomes une colonie britannique. Here we have a quote from a very famous French author and philosopher from around this time in history named Voltaire. And he said, Je suis comme le public, j'aime mieux la paix que le Canada, et je crois que la France peut être heureuse sans Québec. Je suis, we understand that, I am, comme le public, like le public, the rest of the people at the time. J'aime mieux, je préfère. J'aime mieux, je préfère, ce sont des synonymes. Je préfère la paix, peace, que le Canada. So he thinks that peace is preferable to having le Canada as a colony. Et je crois, I believe, je crois que la France peut être heureuse. So I think that France can be heureuse, also known as content, happy, sans Québec, without. So it's a pretty important statement here that he's making. He was a very public figure, so saying that he agreed with the public was a pretty big deal. Les Québécois parlent toujours français. So despite the British Empire taking over Canada at that point in time, there was still the territory that is now known as Quebec that remained French-speaking. Les Québécois parlent toujours français. To this day, people who live in Quebec speak French. It is the one place in Canada where French is very much protected by the law. You have to have road signs, for example, in French. You can have English on those road signs, but there are strict rules about how big the font can be for the French versus the English, stuff like that they really go to great lengths to protect the French language in Quebec. So what I just said will help you a lot with question numéro 2. What are these pictures about? These pictures are obviously not from 1763, because photography didn't exist, but they are on the older side. So they're from more recent history. But what are they fighting for here? What are these signs about? Okay, And I will be linking these momentarily so that you can get to them from the slides, but you can also, even if you watch this before I link them, you can certainly just open them up in Schoology. Okay, dernière chose, last thing today, but perhaps the most important thing, is your quiz about La Pizza Spéciale. So read through this. This is our Write and Discuss from yesterday. You will be copying it into your cahier and doing a write and or a translation for it next week. But for now, you don't necessarily need to do that right away. Open up your quiz link, and it is very similar to what we've seen in the past. You have me telling the story. This is actually just taken from our Meet, our Google Meet yesterday. You see the Write and Discuss, and then you have the questions for the quiz. So answer those questions right here, and when you're finished, just make sure you hit submit, and then you will be finished for today. Au revoir tout le monde!